Have you done anything really cool yet today? You know what cool is. Have you done it? Have you even tried? That's what we're going to talk about today. I've read a lot of books in my life, and I continue to do so. And one of the most meaningful, practically speaking to me, was a book written many years ago by Tom Peters. The book was entitled Thriving on Chaos. And in it, he said that in your life, in your business, no matter what arena, if you think that you're going to create something that's so perfect that all you have to do is come back and oil it up every once in a while, he said that just isn't going to happen because the world is in chaos. Technology, the environment, everything is changing every single day. And instead of sitting back and fighting about that, instead of sitting back and bemoaning the fact that these aren't the good old days and being frustrated and angry all the time and resentful, he said the best thing to do is just embrace it. Just get in there and not only go with it, but try to steer it in your direction. You got to thrive on chaos. Now, he's written several books since. I'm not sure if he's written any lately or not, but in one of them is a tiny little edition called Brand You. B-R-A-N-D-Y-O-U, Brand You. And in this book, one of the things that he said was you have to do something cool every single day. Don't just sit back and wait for it to happen to you. You have to do something cool every single day. Now, I have three things that I want to bring your way in regard to this, doing something cool, because I want to suggest that you actually try this. One is to be adventurous. Try something new. Try something different. Now, you may not like it. You may end up hating it. You may end up resolving to yourself that you're never going to do it again. I've had those kinds of experiences. A few years ago, my wife and my daughter encouraged me to take yoga. It would be good for you. You'd be more flexible and so forth. Okay, so I went to the studio, talked to one of the instructors, and I told her, I said, what do you have for a really big guy like me who's totally inflexible? She said, I have just the class for you. She said, it's called Slow Flow. Sounds good. So I showed up for the first class. I signed up for 10, showed up for the first class. What she didn't tell me was this class was designed for pregnant women. Can you imagine? Pregnant women. And I was up to my elbows in pregnant women. I couldn't keep up with them. I couldn't do anything they were doing. I felt horrible. And I tell you what, I hated every single minute of that yoga class. I took all 10 of them, but when it was all said and done, I said to the instructor, I tried it, I hate it, I'm not coming back. Now, but I tried. And now I know it's not the thing for me. You never know what you can do, what you can't do, what you like, what you don't like, unless you're willing to try. That's the adventure of life. You got to jump in there. I know it's chaotic, but you got to jump in and you got to try something new. All right, number 2 is this: frustration. Life can be totally frustrating on its own, but if you're trying to do something new, if you're trying to create something new and different, you got to count on the fact that you're going to end up being frustrated at some point along the way. And you have to decide, is this going to defeat me, or is it something that I'm going to be able to turn to my advantage? I want to show you right now for just a few moments what currently is most frustrating to me out here on my workbench. So this is what's frustrating me right now. I'm working on this guitar, which I think some of you have seen before, and it's a little 3-string. I'm at the place where I'm trying to wire this up so that it is electrified and so that it actually works. But here's my frustration. Here's the pickup, and the pickup comes, it's routed underneath here with these wires. These wires are soldered to these 2 wires, which go down in here, connect to these knobs, volume and tone, and there's a ground wire that goes over here to the bridge, and then of course it's wired into this jack right here so that you can plug into an amplifier. When it's all said and done, if it works, you can put the pick guard on, put a couple knobs on there, and you're ready to go. But I can't get this thing to work. I keep thinking that it should work. It should be fairly simple. Just connect these 2 wires, make a couple solder joints, ready to go. But I have tried numerous times. I have tried different things. I just can't get it to work. And it's so frustrating. And I have left this bench and gone in the house many, many, many times over the last several days just trying to get this thing to work. So there you have it. I just showed you what is currently frustrating me. Now I have been tempted to take this guitar to somebody else and ask them to fix it, to do it the right way. I have been tempted to just give it up altogether. I have been tempted to get rid of all these components, put new components in, and see if that might work. It's very, very, very frustrating, but I have to remind myself on a regular basis, especially with this project, that if I can plow through that frustration and embrace it, if you will, if I can do that, I know that eventually I'm going to get this thing to work. And when I get it to work, I will have learned something. I will have turned that frustration into opportunity. And as an opportunity to learn, it's an opportunity to add new skills to my portfolio. It's an opportunity to expand who I am as a guitar builder. So turn your frustration into opportunity, and you have to do that consciously. Now, the third thing I want to talk to you about in terms of embracing this chaos, if you will, is purpose. You can't forget what the purpose of what you're doing is all about. For example, when I'm building a guitar, sometimes I'm tempted to go overboard and make them look overly beautiful. And in an attempt to do that, I forget what the purpose of that guitar is in the first place. The purpose of a guitar, of building a guitar, is number one, to make an instrument that's capable of producing beautiful music. Capable. And number two, you are making an instrument that's going to be comfortable in the player's hands and an extension of himself or herself to make that music come about. That's the purpose, twofold. Make an instrument that's capable of producing good music and make an instrument that a player can play. Now, all these other things, the ornamentation, the inlay, the finish, all those good things are important and necessary, but there's a fine line between jumping over that line and making something beautiful as opposed to what its purpose is all about. And the same thing applies to what I'm doing here right now. I am making this little video to put out on Facebook, and I can't forget that the purpose of this, for me at least, is to be hopefully somewhat entertaining and also something that maybe I can get you to think about for just a little bit. Maybe even prod you on to try something different. That's the purpose. I can fool around with the lights, with the audio, with the editing, with all those cool things. I can do that, but that's the purpose. Now, in spite of all those things, or because of all those things, we embrace chaos through adventure, trying something new, by making opportunity out of frustration, and by never forgetting our purpose. That sounds really complex. It really isn't. But if you have those things going on in your life, then you can do something really, really cool every single day. Have you done something cool today? Have you even tried? It's not too late. Get out there or sit down and think about it. Think about something cool, at least, and then maybe tomorrow you can put that into some kind of action. Embrace the chaos. You gotta love your life, and you gotta do new things, and you gotta do something really, really cool every single day. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next week.